Tonight on CTV News, unrelenting extortion violence.
It's obvious that the people who are perpetrating this have placed no value on human life.
From Surrey to Delta, 2 homes are shot up overnight, the gun violence rattling the neighborhoods.
We'll do everything within our power and everything within our authority to make sure that people are safe.
Lapu-Lapu organizers reveal plans after last year's tragedy, from safety to healing, the shape of this year's festival.
We just don't see things turning around in that neighborhood in any short term.
A retail giant retreats, why London Drugs is closing its doors in the Woodwards building.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the extortion crime wave that shows no sign of letting up. Overnight, 2 homes were shot up. Both had people inside. The bullets were fired at a home in Surrey, and then a few hours later, one in Delta. CTV's Ben Milger has the story.
The sound of gunfire jolted people awake in this residential community shortly after 5 o'clock in the morning. By the light of day, neighbors could clearly see the White House behind me had been riddled with bullets. It happened on Brook Road in North Delta. People in the neighborhood are scared to speak on camera, but call the violence unnerving. Bullets peppered the garage, struck the front door, and went through windows on the lower and upper floors. Police say nobody was injured. It's unclear who lives in the home, but a small bike on the balcony suggests a child could have been present. Surrey police say this home was also targeted by extortion-related gunfire early Wednesday morning. It happened about 1:30 on 77A Avenue in Newton. Nobody was injured in this incident either, but police say the shooting could have had a tragic outcome.
It's obvious that the people who are perpetrating this have placed no value on human life if they're willing to indiscriminately fire bullets at a house. It's dangerous. But fortunately, nobody was injured.
SPS is the lead agency for this investigation. Back in Delta, police had the street cordoned off for hours as investigators gathered evidence and canvassed for witnesses. The Delta Police Major Crimes Unit is handling the investigation. They are seeking witnesses and any home security footage or dash cam video from the area. Ben Milger, CTV News, Delta.
The tragedy of last April's Lapu-Lapu Festival is not stopping organizers from forging ahead with this year's event. It will be a time to honor victims and a time of healing. Today, Filipino BC revealed how it will address safety nearly a year after 11 people who were celebrating ended up losing their lives. CTV's Isabella Zaffarisi has the story.
What was supposed to be a day to celebrate Filipino culture on April 26th of last year quickly turned into a devastating sight. The driver of an SUV plowed into crowds during the Lapu-Lapu Day Festival in South Vancouver.
The driver is gone.
Adam Kaijilo is charged with 11 counts of murder and 31 counts of attempted murder. But the event's organizers say the community will not live in fear, announcing Wednesday the festival will return 1 week before the anniversary of the tragedy.
You know, the feedback has been that it should happen, and that, you know, the memory of the festival shouldn't be, you know, what happened in the last time. That, you know, we continue to build on all of the good things while honoring the memory of those we lost.
RJ Aquino with Filipino BC says the multi-day event will offer food, performances, and a number of surprises, while also including a memorial gathering.
So we were very intentional in that how this was planned, and before making this announcement, we made sure to engage with the families.
Aquino adds it isn't just about celebrating culture. It's also about creating a space for reflection.
I think a lot of people recognize having this event is a part of that healing process.
The group will work with the city, the province, and first responders. The VPD says it will ensure a robust safety plan is in place.
You can never eliminate all risk. We'll do everything within our power and everything within our authority to make sure that people are safe and people feel safe when they come to this year's event.
In September, a report outlined 8 recommendations, including a call to the province and feds to pass standardized event safety legislation. The province says it's exploring this, as well as risk assessment tools. More details about the festival will be revealed soon, as the community works to hold both joy and grief amidst an unspeakable tragedy. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
To breaking news, a teenager has died in a house fire in a rural area of Langley. CTV's Craig Krause is following this in the Breaking News Center. Craig, what have we learned?
Well, Mijung, according to police, first responders were called to the house on the 6500 block of 248th Street at around 7 a.m. And when they arrived, they found the home fully engulfed in flames. And that's when police explained to me tonight that a number of other people were able to escape, but a 15-year-old was found dead inside. Here's a portion of my phone call with Langley RCMP. Here it is.
This is truly a heartbreaking tragedy, and our thoughts are with the family and friends of the deceased during this incredibly difficult time. The cause of this fire remains under investigation. However, we can confirm at this time that there is no indication of any criminality.
And now police are working with the BC Coroner Service as the investigation gets underway. Mijung?
Thanks for this update, Craig. Theft, vandalism, and violence are all being blamed for London Drug's decision to shut down its location in the Woodwards building on the edge of the downtown east side. The store says persistent safety issues have pushed customers away and that they can no longer justify the massive losses. It has been one of the anchor tenants since the development opened in 2009, and the president says they were excited by the vision to revitalize the area.
But unfortunately, pretty much from day one, it was very clear that the neighborhood was not willing to evolve with the vision. And after now 16 years, it's just inconceivable for us to continue to withstand these issues and to continue to operate.
The store says they are grateful to the city and police department for their support, but are calling on all levels of government to bring an end to street disorder in the area. A sudden blast of winter took people by surprise this afternoon. Burnaby Mountain is one of the areas where snow came down. CTV's Martin Man is live at SFU. And Martin, it sounds like people...
Mijung, while the snow was quick to clear and turn to slush in most of Metro Vancouver, up here on Burnaby Mountain, families were happy to take advantage of the situation. The sleds came out quickly during this brief window of winter weather, with a number of kids eager to get the adrenaline rush of going down hills as fast as they could and see if they could beat their friends to the bottom.
It's so fun. Playing snowballs, making a huge snowball.
Snow is all the time a very interesting moment for kids and for us. We are from Brazil.
How many times did you go down the hill?
I think 5 times.
5 times, wow. How fast do you think you went?
So fast.
I think this event is a reminder that we are in winter, and these type of short bursts, sudden snowfalls can happen. It's not quite at a warning level event, so we would not put a warning for this, but certainly it's in the realm of possibilities as we are in the cooler season.
As for tomorrow, SFU tells us there are no plans to cancel classes at this point. But if that changes, an email will be sent to everybody affected at 6 a.m. So while anything is possible with the weather, as we saw today, it seems as if the rain has been coming down over the last little bit. It seems as if Environment Canada says this system came and went. So they are going to do that final assessment tomorrow, Mijung, but it looks as if classes will be going on tomorrow at SFU. Mijung?
Yeah, and at least the kids got a little bit of tobogganing in. Thanks a lot, Martin. And let's go outside to what it looks like right now on Burrard Street. It is 6:08. The roads are damp, but I was outside this afternoon and did feel that sleet and the slush pounding against my face.
The chunky rain. Why didn't you have an umbrella? It should be against your face. But yes, we had that wintry mix this afternoon for a short while. Snow, as we saw in Martin's report there at Burnaby Mountain. Here's a look at temperatures across the Lower Mainland. 3 at the Harbour, 4 in Burnaby, and you're looking at 3 degrees in Surrey as well. And Chilliwack, you're sitting at 3 degrees, also Abbotsford. So we're hovering around that freezing mark. Any moisture that passes by higher elevations definitely will see that rain-snow mix. Overnight lows 3 degrees. And then, yes, SFU classes will go on because it is expected to stay dry overnight and dry for tomorrow as well. Mostly cloudy skies with some sunny breaks and a high of 5.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
So dry day tomorrow. Get outside and enjoy it. Rain returns once again, and a warm-up is on the way as well. Those details coming up.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting trend next week. All right, thanks, Ann. An investigation is underway after 2 seniors were found dead inside a home in Delta. Officers performed a welfare check at the home in the 4600 block of London Crescent just after midnight. Police say they found 2 elderly adults dead inside. The deaths are believed to be isolated with no suspects outstanding. A 23-year-old woman injured in a multi-vehicle crash in Surrey last week has died. The crash between a semi and 2 other cars happened on New Year's Day near 32nd Avenue and 194th Street. Police haven't released the identity of the woman, but say she was a passenger in one of the vehicles. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, but at this point, police believe impairment was a factor. No charges have been laid. Now to the latest in the disciplinary hearings for a group of Coquitlam Mounties who made sexist comments in group chats. An officer found to have committed discreditable conduct says he never meant to hurt anyone and still wants to be a member of the RCMP. But a lawyer representing the force says they're holding firm in their call for his dismissal. CTV's Ben Nesbitt has more.
Constable Mursad Mesbah says he used the group chats to dump his disturbing thoughts from the job before moving on to the next task, saying he truly and deeply regrets his actions. But the lawyer for the RCMP's conduct authority says he should be fired or forced to resign within 14 days. The conduct hearing was told Mesbah posted comments including hoping a woman would be killed and saying he would have pepper sprayed a victim if he had been first on scene. RCMP adjudicator Luis Morel previously found Mesbah and constables Ian Sullivan and Philip Dick committed discreditable conduct when they posted racist, sexist, and homophobic comments in a group chat with other officers and on police computer terminals. The conduct authority says Mesbah's actions are fundamentally incompatible with RCMP values. His lawyer argues discipline short of dismissal, such as loss of pay or additional training, is more appropriate, saying he is a dedicated officer who can be rehabilitated. Sullivan was the first of the 3 to learn their fate in December and is no longer with the RCMP, while Dick is scheduled to have his final hearings next month. The hearing has been adjourned until next week, when Mesbah is expected to learn his fate. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Coquitlam.
The Vancouver Symphony Orchestra is changing its policies after a violinist spoke out about how her sexual assault complaint was handled. Esther Huang says she was silenced by a non-disclosure agreement and threatened with legal action after breaking it. The VSO now says it regrets the pain this created and is pledging to no longer use NDAs in sexual misconduct cases unless requested by the victim. The orchestra also says it won't sue Huang and is committed to improving safety and accountability. Turning now to concerns about flying to the Caribbean after the political unrest in Venezuela. Here's CTV's Sinjin Alexander.
The U.S. military is still visible in the Caribbean, operations still underway. The travel chaos that swept through the region.
We didn't know what was going on.
When airspace around Venezuela was shut down is still clearing.
We can move to a different island and they tell us all islands are shut down.
So it's no wonder tourists who want to get away are hesitant.
We are seeing Canadians, they are changing some of their travel patterns this year.
They're still heading to Mexico and northern parts of the Caribbean, But many are now choosing destinations that are much further away, like Southeast Asia.
With places like Vietnam and Thailand, it's comparable for 10 nights in somewhere like Vietnam or Thailand, same price as 7 nights in somewhere like Jamaica.
When it comes to the safety of hotspots close to Venezuela, travel agents will always point to the Canadian government's travel advisory. And they will, of course, recommend trip cancellation insurance.
Speak to your insurance provider and really share the details of your trip, where you're traveling to, when you're traveling.
How much it might cost often depends on the type of trip. A luxurious resort is bound to be more than a modest adventure.
One of the benefits of booking with a travel advisor is that they tend to be up to date with what's going on in the world and can offer alternates.
And remember, there is one constant on vacations. Plans usually change. St. Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
A prolific violent offender was among the drivers caught in an illegal ride-hailing crackdown in Richmond in an enforcement blitz that led to more than $10,000 in fines. Richmond RCMP say the one-day blitz targeted unlicensed ride-hailing drivers operating without proper insurance or background checks. Officials say one driver had 5 violent criminal offenses since 2024, while another had his license canceled for impaired driving just 2 months earlier. RCMP warned that illegal ride-hailing is both unlawful and dangerous, urging the public to only use licensed taxi and ride-hailing services. Changes are coming to HandyDart to make it easier for people with disabilities to book trips. Also ahead.
My concern is basically getting out of that seat in a packed airplane with an emergency evacuation.
WestJet under fire over its lack of legroom. It's not just passengers complaining. Now a union is speaking out about safety concerns. When CTV News at 6 continues, stay with us. Have a news tip, video, or photos of breaking news from your screen to ours? When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Email us at vantips@ctv.ca or text 10400. Safety concerns are rising after a viral video showed WestJet passengers struggling to fit into their seats. It's the second time within a month the airline has faced backlash over its cramped conditions. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports.
Dad, can you just straighten out your legs there?
Impossible. A cramped cabin experience for an Edmonton area family is causing concerns for comfort and safety on board. The reconfigured seats were installed in a couple dozen WestJet planes last fall.
The only time you really get to understand how seat pitch works is when you have to experience it yourself.
The squishy situation is putting passengers in a tight spot for safety.
My concern is basically getting out of that seat in a packed airplane with an emergency evacuation.
They're forcing you to upgrade, basically, if you want to be able to safely fit in your seat.
Transport Canada is responsible for aviation safety. Right now, it does not regulate how much space is required between rows of seats. Aviation expert John Graddick says the issue goes beyond passengers, as it also impacts flight attendants who have to complete safety checks.
If your knees and legs and thighs basically are covering up that space, how is a flight attendant going to see where your carry-on baggage is safely stowed or not?
The union representing WestJet cabin personnel tells CTV News in part, flight attendants are concerned about the impact that increasingly confined cabin spaces may have on safety, both for passengers and for the crew responsible for conducting required safety and security checks on board. The union also says the airline made the decision without consulting or engaging with cabin crews, even after it raised concerns.
Transport Canada has not really addressed this thing publicly. They may have done it privately with WestJet, but I think that the Transport Canada should have a public statement.
Graddick says in a competitive industry, it's likely other airlines could shrink seat room if Transport Canada doesn't act. CTV News reached out to WestJet multiple times and has not heard back. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
The opposition health critic is sounding the alarm about repeated maternity diversions at Peace Arch Hospital, calling the situation unacceptable and preventable.
there is a crisis in this province. The government's going to say that it's throughout Canada. But what I want people to realize here is if we look outside our borders, places like Europe, Australia, and New Zealand are not having the same issues. So why are we having this issue in Canada and British Columbia? And that's because we haven't planned ahead of numbers of OBGYN we need per capita.
This is the second maternity diversion at Peace Arch Hospital in just 2 weeks. The latest closure runs from 7 a.m. Thursday until 8 a.m. Monday. Fraser Health says the temporary shutdown is due to a gap in obstetrician gynecologist coverage and is asking expectant parents to call the maternity unit first so staff can direct them to another hospital for care. BC Transit is rolling out online booking for Handy Dart services, making it easier for users to schedule rides. BC Transit has signed a $6 million deal with the Vancouver-based company Spare to bring online booking and dispatch technology to its Handy Dart system. The new portal will let riders book and manage trips and get real-time updates and push notifications. It will also help drivers with navigation and real-time updates. Transit officials say the upgrade will make Handy Dart services more efficient and reliable. Riders will still be able to book rides by phone. More aggression from the U.S. as it seizes 2 oil tankers connected to Venezuela. Also coming up.
This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying.
The mayor of Minneapolis lashes out after a woman is killed in an ICE-involved shooting. Outrage from the community. The story next. A frightening moment on a bridge in Quebec was caught on camera. The video shows a car colliding with another vehicle Sunday morning, then losing control and launching over the edge into the Gatineau River. Snow piled along the side acted like a ramp, sending the car airborne. Incredibly, it landed on the ice without breaking through, and the driver walked away with only minor injuries. A woman is dead in Minneapolis after being shot by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer. The city's mayor pushing back against claims the shooting was an act of self-defense.
This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed.
The victim was in her vehicle at the time of the shooting. She's been identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a single mother to a 6-year-old boy. More than 2,000 ICE officers have been deployed to Minneapolis as part of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Federal officials claim Good was trying to ram officers with her vehicle and was shot in self-defense. Days after the capture of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro, the Trump administration is moving in to control that country's oil. Dramatic pictures show the U.S. Coast Guard boarding 2 ships accused of violating U.S. sanctions. One of them, a Russian oil tanker, with Moscow calling the seizure an act of piracy. The Trump administration reportedly intends to oversee the sale of Venezuela's oil indefinitely and says it will be dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people. Several lawmakers have been critical of Trump's attempt to reshape the world order.
This is an insane plan. They are talking about stealing the Venezuelan oil at gunpoint.
I am totally dissatisfied about their answers of going into other countries.
Trump has plans to meet with major U.S. oil executives Friday about restarting drilling in Venezuela. Buoyed by its military operation in Venezuela, the Trump administration is now floating another controversial idea: buying Greenland. The White House says the president believes the purchase would be in America's best interest, arguing it could deter Russian and Chinese aggression in the Arctic. Tensions over that plan escalated yesterday when the White House said the use of the military force is always an option. Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark, protected by NATO.
If the Americans attack or try to annex Greenland, Denmark will have to invoke Article 5 in NATO that says that NATO countries have to come and help us against that attack. The Americans would, of course, veto that, and then NATO would be finished.
Greenland shares a border with Canada just 21 kilometers off the coast of Nunavut. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canadian forces can protect the Arctic from Chinese and Russian threats, as NATO was created to do. A wedding proposal disaster. What happened when he dropped the ring? Also ahead.
It's there and it's working, so it's just amazing how it works.
Cutting-edge local research into deep brain stimulation and how it can help improve the lives of people with Parkinson's disease. That's ahead. The Foo Fighters' longtime guitarist Pat Smear will have to sit out the next few shows after breaking his foot. In a nod to Spinal Tap, the band said the injury was due to the classic tradition of rock stars having bizarre gardening accidents. The Foo Fighters are spending the year touring all around the world, including a stop at BC Place in September. The high-profile lawyer representing the son of Hollywood director Rob Reiner has removed himself from the case as he insists Nick Reiner is not guilty in the killing of his parents.
Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that.
A public defender will take over for Jackson, who says his departure is a result of circumstances beyond his control. Reiner did not enter a plea as expected today, but agreed in court to delaying his arraignment to February 23rd. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection to the fatal stabbing of his parents last month. The charges carry a penalty of life in prison with no parole. A marriage proposal is supposed to be unforgettable, but not for this reason. One groom-to-be popped the question on a suspension bridge, but the ring slipped right through his fingers, falling 30 meters below into the snow.
I was in complete shock. I can't believe I did that. All that money was, oh my God. I just ruined her proposal.
I just laughed because this was such a Trevor thing to do. I think I was just more or less like, oh crap, what do we do next?
Trevor Van Camp had been planning to propose to his now fiancée Danielle Jenkins for more than a year on a sky bridge at Michigan's Boyne Mountain Resort. When things didn't go according to plan, they searched for the ring for a few hours before going home empty-handed. However, a resort employee came to the rescue using a metal detector to track it down and return it to the couple. A happy ending and a proposal they will never forget. And you know something's going to go wrong if you're holding a ring on a suspension bridge. You know it's going to fall, right?
Yeah, he didn't think it through, and he better make that employee his best man.
Exactly. And it's a good thing there wasn't water underneath, right? A winter, because otherwise that ring would have been gone. Yeah. But luckily, there was a happy ending.
And hopefully the wedding planning goes smoother than that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look at our forecast today. We had a wintry mix. Right now, we're seeing mostly cloudy conditions out there. We saw a high of 5.9 degrees as we finish off the first week of January. Seasonal average is 6.6. Overnight lows at 2.2, a degree above the seasonal average. And so far this week, for this month, we've only seen 33.1 millimeters of rain, the monthly average of 162.1 millimeters. So right now, we are seeing dry conditions, as you can see on our satellite radar imagery. The chunky rain we saw earlier on today has moved towards the east. We do have a little bit of a break in between systems right now, right through until tomorrow before the next system moves its way in. So enjoy it while you can. Right now, a few sprinkles for Surrey as well as Coquitlam and the Fraser Valley as we head through the overnight. It does dry up quite nicely, a line of showers here or there, but for the most part, you'll see a mix of sun and cloud to start off your early morning commute. It does cloud over as we head through the afternoon, and tomorrow night we'll see overcast conditions. You'll see mostly cloudy skies for the central interior tomorrow. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Periods of rain for Port Hardy with a high of 7 degrees. You'll start off wet. Does cloud over for Campbell River and Comox through the afternoon with a high of 5 degrees. Light rain for Tofino and Port Alberni. Temperatures between 4 and 8. Overcast skies for Nanaimo. 7 degrees for the Southern Gulf Islands and Victoria. A balmy 9 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies with some sunny breaks in there. 4 degrees for the Sunshine Coast under a mix of sun and cloud. Showers up the Sea to Sky Highway for Squamish at 4. Whistler, mostly cloudy skies. A few flurries to start off the day with a high of 1. And for us across the Lower Mainland, mostly cloudy skies. Cool temperatures between 3 and 5 degrees. We'll see some sunny breaks in there as well. And then heading into the next 7 days. For Friday, we will start off with some rain. It does dry up through the afternoon, 8 degrees. Kicking off the weekend, we'll start off dry on Saturday. Rain returns in the afternoon, continuing into Sunday. Monday, we're up to double-digit highs, 10 degrees. Seasonal normals 6 degrees. It does cloud over for Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a few showers, 10 degrees as well. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So enjoy the dry day tomorrow before a few days of rain. But then, yeah, warms up quite nicely.
Yeah, well, you know, rays of sunshine, very few and far between in January. So at least we get some
little breaks here and there.
Yeah, a little break tomorrow. Okay, thanks, Ed. Welcome. Time for our weekly look at furry friends looking for their forever home. Also ahead, a UBC neurosurgeon researches the impact of deep brain stimulation on people with Parkinson's disease. Can it help more than their motor skills? We'll explain ahead on CTV News at 6.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch, a gray view of the city skyline from the Main Street overpass.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Taking a look at today's markets, a Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil is down $1.14, closing at $55.99 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost more than $33 today. The TSX and the Dow Jones both ended the day lower, down 271 points and 466 points, respectively. The company behind a popular online chat platform is reportedly considering going public. Bloomberg News reports Discord has made a confidential filing in the United States for an initial public offering. The platform has an estimated 200 million users per month, and it's particularly popular among video game enthusiasts and streamers. Bloomberg's report cited people familiar with the matter, saying deliberations are ongoing and the IPO listing may not go ahead. A spokesperson for Discord said the company's priorities are user experience and building a strong, sustainable business. A neurosurgeon at Vancouver General Hospital is researching whether a brain implant used to treat the physical symptoms of Parkinson's could also help with what's known as the invisible symptoms of the disease, such as depression, anxiety, and cognitive impairment. CTV's Shannon Patterson has a story.
I'm going to record from your brain directly.
2 years ago, Maria Boucher had an electrode surgically implanted in her brain that doctors use to help control symptoms of Parkinson's disease.
And I don't feel anything in my brain. I don't feel a bossing or anything like that. It's just something that happens, and it's there and it's working. So it's just amazing how it works.
So when we initially connect, I put this over your battery. You can hold that now. And then I would connect the tablet to the battery that's implanted inside her. And we can see this is the activity in her brain where the electrode is, and it's going up and it's going down.
VGH neurosurgeon Dr. Stefan Lang is now studying whether that same deep brain stimulator can help with another side of Parkinson's.
It's really good at treating movement symptoms. However, we know that Parkinson's disease has a lot of invisible symptoms, including cognitive impairment, anxiety, and depression. We think we can use the deep brain stimulator to study those symptoms, to understand how they're arising in the brain, and also, hopefully, in the future, to treat some of these symptoms.
That would be fantastic if it can be used for the non-motor symptoms. That would be just great.
Okay, Maria, we're going to test your cognitive abilities now with a memory test.
Boucher is one of 15 patients with Parkinson's in the research funded by the VGH Millionaire Lottery, where participants' brains are monitored as they do cognitive tests and take questionnaires about their mental health.
In that way, we can understand when somebody's feeling depressed or if someone is having issues with their cognition, does it line up with signals in the brain in a specific manner?
It's hoped that by controlling the frequency in the electrode implanted in the patient's brains, non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's can be treated.
Already the motor symptoms that you don't feel anymore is amazing. That would be just a cherry on top. It would be just like not having Parkinson's at all. Yeah, it would be amazing.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Novo Nordisk Canada is considering competing with generic versions of its Ozempic and Wegovy drugs by introducing lower-priced versions of the medications. Health Canada approved the company's submissions on December 22nd. Experts say the generic drugs are unlikely to be approved for at least a few months. The agency says evaluating the drugs is a complex process because Novo Nordisk's products were developed using biological processes while the generic versions are made using chemical means. The Canucks have won just 4 out of 19 games at home this season after raising ticket prices ahead of the season. So maybe it's just as well they're back on the road.
Allenstein centers, Mensah scores!
Or maybe not. That goal made it 4-0 Sabres last night as the Canucks started a 6-game road trip on the wrong foot. But there are signs of hope for the future. The Ringside Report is next. Plus, unexpected inspiration. Adam finds out how an explosion of feathers in a fireplace inspired a Victoria woman to get creative. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's Carrie with a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
What's next for Canadian oil after political upheaval in Venezuela? Thursday on Your Morning Vancouver, an expert weighs in on whether Canada's crude can stay competitive on the world stage. Plus, Feed the Dream, the initiative that's highlighting the connection between food, family support, and the aspirations of Canadian athletes. We'll see you in the morning.
The Ringside Report, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct. Call and talk to our team today.
We're already halfway through the NHL season, and the Vancouver Canucks find themselves sitting near the bottom of the standings. To say they've underachieved this season would be an understatement, but they are now moving in a younger direction. So growing pains are to be expected. Here's CTV's Kevin Chirac with this week's Ringside Report.
Liam Holmgren shoots, and he scores!
A late third-period rally fell short in a 5-3 loss Tuesday in Buffalo. Head coach Adam Foote says his leaders need to step up.
I'd like to see us calm down a little bit. I'd like to see our leadership group grab that a little quicker rather than let it linger like it did.
It takes all of us, but always us leaders as well. One team's push for us to settle things down.
At the halfway mark, the Canucks sit second last in the NHL with just 4 home wins, the worst in the league.
Where they are currently in the standings in 31st position, it's been an absolute unmitigated disaster for the Vancouver Canucks.
There are bright spots. 20-year-old rookie defenseman Tom Willander looks like he belongs, and forward Linus Karlsson just signed a 2-year extension. The longtime minor leaguer has emerged as one of the team's top scoring threats.
I mean, I'm really excited for 2 more years in the organization. I really appreciate everyone here, and it's a lot of fun to play here. So I'm really excited for the future.
A future on a team that could look quite different very soon as the organization explores trading some of its veterans, including pending free agent Kiefer Sherwood, who some are surprised is still in a Canucks uniform.
There should be teams lining up, I would say, to give late first-round picks to the Vancouver Canucks for this player. I still suspect that it will come to that deal will happen. I don't know what has necessarily taken so long, though.
And on a positive note, these 6 Canucks have been named to their country's Olympic rosters for the upcoming games in Italy. The Canucks continue their 6-game road trip Thursday in Detroit. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Ringside Report, brought to you by Capital Direct.
CapitalDirect.ca.
It's a mammoth win for the NHL's newest team. Utah is getting an outdoor game.
It's what the people need.
It's going to be exciting.
So let's give it to them.
Next season's Winter Classic will be played at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. Utah will host Colorado, but the date for the game has yet to be announced. The Mammoth will draw its largest crowd ever at a venue that seats more than 54,000 for college football at the University of Ottawa. When the puck drops, all 32 NHL franchises will have participated in an outdoor game. Okay, well, it's time for Homeward Bound, our weekly segment where we introduce you to furry friends from local rescues who are looking for their forever home.
That's right, and here are some cats from the Vancouver Orphan Kitten Rescue Association, also known as VOCRA.
Meet Abby and Asher. Oh, a sweet bonded pair who love to chase each other and snuggle together. Abby's a purr machine that enjoys gentle pets, while Asher loves lap time and making biscuits.
Yeah.
And I had to look that up. It's like they're kneading,
Yes.
right? Okay, they are indoor cats that would adore a catio or enclosed balcony. This duo needs a calm home with older kids only and someone who's ready for double the affection.
Adorable. Well, Peter is a confident, playful cat that loves laps and neck scratches. He's vocal around mealtime and full of energy after zooming through the house and hunting toys. At night, he snuggles in bed, and in the morning, he's ready to play. Peter needs a cat-savvy home with plenty of attention and respect for boundaries.
And finally, this is Lancelot, a 6-year-old cat with a long, luscious mane. While he can be shy at first, with time and patience, Lancelot transforms into a very affectionate companion. You'll know he's happy when he's curled up beside you, purring up a storm. Lancelot is looking for a calm, quiet home with no other pets or young children.
He looks like a Lancelot, doesn't he?
Yes,
That
his
name
fur.
suits him. See, the making biscuits, did you know what that was?
No, I didn't.
Cats making biscuits. It goes like this?
Yeah.
And it looks like they're kneading something.
bread.
Okay, you learned something new. Okay, for more information, head to vocra.ca. Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off first. Craig's here with a look ahead to your late news.
Mijung, we do have a busy night ahead of us. We are working on a few stories tonight, including an update on the homicide investigation in Kamloops, a day after police announced that Mohammed Ash Safar was found slain inside a Kamloops home. The RCMP are warning the public of dating apps. We will have more on why police are urging people to take precautions online as the RCMP search for answers. Mijung?
Okay, thanks, Craig. Well, when an uninvited visitor appeared in her home, a woman in Victoria didn't let it ruffle her feathers. Instead, she broke out her art supplies, ensuring the rare encounter was captured on canvas. Adam explains in tonight's Sawatsky sign-off.
I took my shoes off and...
When Beth Doman arrived home that night, she was greeted by a peculiar sound.
Like, just a little bit of soot coming down here.
She wondered if it was a rodent and approached the fireplace to investigate.
And then all of a sudden, this explosion of feathers.
Beth thought it was a hawk at first, before the bird flew over the grate and into her living room.
And sat on my couch and stared at me.
It was an owl that by the time Beth could grab her camera, had flown to her front entrance.
You don't expect an owl to come down your chimney, so I was just a bit in shock for a minute.
Which was followed by worry for the bird's well-being.
It's okay. We'll let you outside. Oh my God. It's okay. It's okay, sweetie. Here we go.
Beth says the owl spent another 20 minutes inside her home.
And I named him Barry. Barry the barred owl.
Before Barry bolted, seemingly unscathed, beyond Beth's front door and back to the wild.
All my friends were asking me if I got my Hogwarts letter.
In lieu of receiving a handwritten letter inviting her to enroll in Harry Potter's School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Beth decided to express her thoughts and feelings about Barry by putting paint to paper.
Owls have a lot of meaning in different cultures. Sometimes they can be harbingers of doom. Other times they're a blessing.
And perhaps because she'd been painting watercolors of birds for years, Beth says Barry's visit very much felt like a blessing.
I feel just really special that he chose my chimney to fall down and that I got to have such a close experience with a wild animal.
Beth also got to paint how this story ends, with Barry happily on a branch, having delivered not post to Potter, but magical inspiration nonetheless. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Wow.
Ooh, I'm sure Barry, the barn owl, was pretty scared being in the house. Like, what am I doing in here? I do love owls, though. Something pretty magical about them.
When they're in a tree and not in your chimney.
Yes, and not flapping around trying to get out of your house.
Exactly. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot for tonight. A pretty picture from Peachland of the sunrise this morning. Thanks, Sherry, for sending this beautiful one in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well, so email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Beautiful. We might see a little bit of sun tomorrow, right, Anne?
Yes, definitely.
All right, Craig's back tonight at 11:30. Thanks for joining us.